the grim darkness of the 2023s. There was only Chris and me.
There was only you and I. Now, Zach,
Yeah.
you get to decide. This is your top 20.
Yes, it is.
We're going to divide this into 2 videos.
Okay.
And you get to decide when this is released.
Oh.
So you can be any sort of milestone you want. It can be room and board related. It cannot be room and board related. You get to decide what has happened that has caused this to be released, because we're filming this before I go out east, but maybe this comes out later. So what do you think? I figured I'd put you on the spot.
Yeah, now I'm all
You can decide anything. When we hit 100,000 subscribers, this will be released.
So it's never coming out.
So, this this is something that, like, Zach is probably the most frequent on this channel out of all of my friends. Zach is probably the person who I game with the most.
Probably the most frequent at my house out of all my friends.
Yeah. We game together a lot, and so I'm really excited because I don't actually know Zach's top 20. I feel like I have a group of 5 that I feel are in the top 5. And so when they come up, I'll say, oh, I thought that was in the top 5.
Oh, all right.
But other than that, I think I don't know what your top 20 is, and I'm excited. And we share some similarities in gaming, but I also feel like I like
I think we like different kinds of
games. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris has been coming over to my house like almost every Thursday for like 4 years, more than 4 years.
Yeah, more than that. Yeah.
I do almost since I came to Toronto.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And almost every time he comes over, he has a bag with games in it. And maybe one of those games we've played before, and the rest of them are brand new.
Yeah.
So when I was making this list, I struggled a bunch because there was a lot of games I loved that I've played once.
Right.
Because you brought it over once, and I loved it, and then the next time, brand new games.
Well, you tell me what to bring up. You tell me what
I like learning games, though, Chris.
I know. You put them on this list, I'll bring them over again.
Okay, well, you're going to learn you're going to learn where my taste lies.
Well, I think that's it, right? Like, I feel like for a lot of lists, too, people have this rule. Like, I had this kind of rule in place of like, oh, I haven't played it enough for it to make a ranking. But I also think there's something representative just about like taste and about style and like feel of game too, right?
Yeah.
Like that makes your personality.
Well, yeah, but when I started making this list, I was just like, I sat down with a blank piece of paper and I just wrote all the names of the games that came immediately to my mind.
Yep.
And I was like, I think that's pretty much, there was a couple games I had to rack my brains for.
Yeah.
And there's one game on this list, Chris.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of. That I'm going to have to ask you and you're going to have to tell me. Because I love it. I was sitting in my room and I tried to Google it. And I was like,
he tried to Google
these are too vague Google terms. It's giving me random bullshit. So there's one game on my top 20 list that I don't know the name of.
That's so fun. And but like honestly, to be fair though, Zach regularly forgets my name. And like I don't take any offense to it. We're very close friends. But it'll be like, hey you, Crizzle, whatever your name is.
It happens.
It happens. Right? It happens. That shouldn't be an indicator of like liking, disliking. I'm just excited to talk about these games with you and find out why you like them.
Yeah.
And go from there. So yeah, I figure we'll divide this into 2 parts. So we're going to do 20 to 11, and then we'll do another ramp up intro for the next one. But let's get into your number 20, Zach.
Okay.
And it will appear right here if I don't own it and you happen to own it.
You're gonna hate that this is on my top 20.
Oh, I probably will.
This is on my top 20. It's there purely due to nostalgia.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, my number 20 is
XP.
Hotels the board game. Hotels the board game was my entire childhood.
I've never heard of this
All
game.
right, Hotels the board game. It's like Monopoly.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more complicated, a little bit more interesting. The reason it's on my list is because you're building hotels. You move around the board. You build hotels. You get to build buildings, and the buildings are 3D buildings made of folded cardboard.
That's pretty cool.
And so they're all different styles of building.
I'm looking it up right now.
They all have like this. The entire board game is the most 80s looking board game you have ever looked at. It's all pastel colors in like prints. Everything looks like it could be from the 70s.
I'll put some pictures up on the...
It's I love
Is this it?
That's it. That's
Yeah.
hotels, my friend. I love hotels. All the landscape. Chris, I know you're gonna hate this because it's basically Monopoly.
It's on your top 20.
It's on my top 20, but you know what?
Yeah.
People put things on their shelves in their collection that they
Mhm.
love purely for the aesthetics of it, because they like the minis,
Yeah.
because they like the
Yeah.
IP. Hotels, it's my entire childhood. We didn't really play Monopoly. We played the crap out of hotels.
Yeah. Cool.
And I think it's just this cheesy, so 70s game. It's got so much table presence. There's nothing like putting a
It's
bunch
been
of...
rebranded as Hotel Tycoon.
Oh, is it?
FYI.
Anyway.
But we're specifically targeting hotels.
Hotels, the
Yeah.
version I played, it's like, what is it, Hasbro?
Yeah, Milton Bradley.
Milton Bradley.
Created
Man.
Milton Bradley in 1986.
I love this game. I play this anytime. I also think it's more interesting than Monopoly.
I would play it with you.
Yeah, because if you were playing Monopoly, you get Boardwalk. You basically won the game.
Yeah.
In hotels, you buy a hotel, and it might be the most expensive hotel, but there's no entrances to the hotel on the board. So every time you land on a space, you're either buying a square on the board or you're building an entrance to your hotel. So you can buy the cheapest hotel and cover the board with entrances to that hotel, so everybody's sleeping in your shitty boomerang hotel. It's great. I love it. But anyway, yeah, that's number 20.
That's number 20.
That's number 20. It's
Hotels
there
of
for
Board
nostalgia.
You know what? I'm not going to shame you. Like I think I'll leave the comments to do that. No, but I love eclectic picks. Like
Mhm.
legitimately, I love eclectic picks on top lists. Like I was so proud of my top 10. I was so proud of all the comments of people being like, "This is the weirdest top 10 I've ever seen." I'm like, yeah, because it's my top 10. And so like if this gives you that nostalgia and like it's the honorary number 20 spot, I respect that, Zach. I can respect that.
Okay.
Until I play it and realize that it's just a dumpster fire.
It's basically Monopoly.
Oh no.
Number 19.
Yeah.
Dutch Blitz.
It's too low.
Dutch Blitz was higher on my list, and I kept renegotiating my list, and I kept having to push it down.
Interesting.
And I think the theme of my list is like, if I didn't have access to your games,
Yep.
and I had infinite money and infinite space,
Yep.
what am I going to get to put on a shelf in a room
Mhm.
to make my collection?
Yeah.
And Dutch Blitz is going to be there. These are all 10 out of 10 games for me.
Yeah.
But it's not in the top 10. I enjoy that game so much.
It's very fun.
It's so fun.
Yeah, I mean, Dutch Blitz is in my top 10, so you know that I like it more. No, it's
Who do you play Dutch Blitz with, Chris?
I play with you.
You play with me.
Well, I play with everyone. I honestly
Yeah.
I've played it. It's honestly, well, I don't know, but I've played it I've got 27 or 28 plays in the app since I started logging plays, and we've played it tons before we started logging plays. I can play that game forever. It's so good.
Mhm.
I'm glad it made an appearance on your top 20.
I would be sad if it wasn't here.
Yeah.
But like, if we were just doing a top 10 list,
Mhm.
there's a bunch of stuff I would want to mention.
Yeah,
that really fits into the 20 to 11.
I didn't expect it would be in your top 10,
Mhm.
to be honest. Like it didn't come to mind of like the games that I think I know
Right.
that are up there. So number 19, Dutch Blitz, super fun, super fast, speed solitaire.
So good.
It's over there, but I'm not going to go over there and grab it because it's
If you have friends
yeah,
and you like hanging out with them,
it's right here.
Dutch Blitz is a wonderful vehicle to just hang.
Yeah, and listen to anime soundtracks too. That's the best part.
Number 18 on my list.
Yeah.
This was one of the board game hook entry drugs that you introduced to me and Brandon. It's one of the first games got us addicted to hanging out with you.
It made your list.
Coup.
Oh, okay. No, I thought you were talking about Seven Wonders.
No.
Coup.
No, Coup has got to
Good
be
choice.
there.
Yeah,
I
good
love
choice.
Coup. It's a bluffing
Mhm.
it's a bluffing game. Everyone gets 2 rolls around the table.
Yep.
The rolls have different abilities. Everyone pretends to be the Duke
Mhm.
until everyone pretends to be the assassin until everyone reveals that they've had a useless Contessa the whole time
Yeah.
and Chris wins. And it's great fun every time. It's quick to teach.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons you whipped it out when we first started playing together is super easy to teach new
Super
players.
easy. Yeah.
I've taught people who aren't board game people, and I'm not a big person that introduces games to other people.
Yeah.
And it's small. You can put it in your backpack. It's good.
It stayed in my backpack when I was doing I was doing the 100 Schools tour. So I was away for 3 months. We did 117 performances.
Right.
We played Coup every lunch. Every single lunch. I had Hanabi in there too, and we played that one lunch and we were like, man, let's play Coup.
Right.
We played it so much that like one of the cast members made us custom like Coup sets with all of our faces on it.
Oh,
so
wow.
everybody, yeah. So like I'm the ambassador. Or call it different names. Like
Right.
he was the captain, but like yeah, it like it's so replayable. That would hit my like most played games if I was, you know, very seriously thinking about how many times I've actually played a game.
And if anyone out there is like, oh, this is on a top 20 list, I should go get it. Get the little version.
Yes.
Get the little version.
Yeah.
You don't need the big deluxe version with
100%.
1,000 different rolls.
Yeah.
You need the 6 rolls in the base game,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah, and that's really counter to what the norm is. It's usually like, oh, get the one because it has all the rules. Coup G54 is what it's called. Is the deluxe one.
Right.
But there's something so great and elegant about the simplicity of just regular Coup. You can play it so quickly because it depends on everybody knowing the game. And so if you're constantly switching up the roles, then people aren't able to bluff as effectively, and that's where the fun comes in.
Very quickly you get to the point where everyone around the game has all of the tools they need.
Yeah.
And there's no knowledge bias, there's no skill bias. It's just, hey, I'm going to make this bluff, and we both have 100% of the information we need to call it or fall for it.
Yeah.
Love Coup.
Yeah, it's really good. It is a great. I don't know where it fell on my list. I should have my list, like I have my full list, because I ranked everything, and I just talked about the top 20. Right?
Oh, right, yeah.
Because what I did, there's this website, PubMeeple, and you put in your whole collection, and then it just shows you 2 things, and you press left or right. And it just keeps showing you things. And so that's how
you have like a tournament.
Yeah, you have a tournament style, like deathmatch style.
Right.
But like it's constantly comparing and like adjusting the ratings, and then it spits it out. And like I then manually adjusted things. I was like, what? Why is that so high?
Right.
No, I don't know what I was thinking. But like it gives you a nice like baseline of how to start. And then it includes everything in your collection and whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm going to grab my computer just to see.
Oh, it's right there on his desktop.
Yeah.
He thinks about this, everybody.
Wow. It's 57 on my list.
That's shameful, Chris.
That is a bit shameful. I feel like maybe it should be higher, but...
I mean, you have a much bigger list than I do. Well.
All right, so Coup
is number
18.
Number 17.
Yeah.
This is another game that gets played a ton at my house. Group game. Hidden roles. It's One Night Werewolf.
Oh, yeah. Great.
One Night Werewolf.
Yeah.
I have to put a bias on games that I personally own.
Yeah, of
because
course.
I own them, because I like them. And if they were on my top 20, I don't own them. What am I doing? Right?
Yeah.
So One Night Werewolf, play it a ton.
Yeah.
Like that game. Super high highs. I think it's higher than Coup just because I think the groups that we play One Night Werewolf are great groups to lie to the face of.
Yeah. Also because it can play up to 10.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of Coup just playing to 6. I mean, you can get the expansion for Coup, which gets it up to 10, but I wouldn't.
Yeah. I love One Night Werewolf. I love the app on the phone.
Yeah.
I love especially if you're playing with a bunch of people and some people haven't played it before, and you have this like communal experience of everyone closing their eyes and being quiet and listening for like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's it's magical. It's magical. It's got everything you want about Werewolf. It does it in one night. In like you play that game in like 7 minutes. It's good. It's good. I can't mark it any lower.
One Night Werewolf is higher on my list.
Really?
Higher than Coup as well. So it's 41 on my list. It appeared on my list for sure. Yeah, One Night. Although I don't know, talking about Coup right now, it really could flip flop between the two, right? Like there's an elegance to Coup that like the speed at which you can play rounds and rounds and rounds versus One Night.
I think the trick is the reason I marked Coup a little lower is Coup feels like a great little game. And Werewolf feels like it's got more teeth to it. Yeah. It's a bigger event. You could have a night where you get together in order to play Werewolf. You can get together to play games with friends and start playing Coup and happen to play it all night.
Right.
But like Werewolf, you make it's a decision. You set out to play it.
I buy that. Yeah, that's cool. That was 17?
17. Number 16, a game that is no longer in my collection. And this is a little bit of a nostalgia pick for me as well.
Okay, I know what this is.
Oh, I don't think you do. Do you want to place your stake in the stone?
Yeah.
What is it?
Do you want me to write it down?
No, just say it out loud, because I'm going to just immediately say you're wrong.
Battlestar Galactica?
No.
Oh, damn it.
No, my number 16 is Risk 2210 AD.
Is that the Legacy?
No.
Oh, no.
No, it's not. Risk 2210 AD is a board game. If you've played Risk, you know Risk.
Yeah.
I think this is the best version of Risk.
Yeah. And you really you love playing Risk all through university.
I played Risk all through university, all through high school.
Yeah.
I'm a Risk person. I'm a dudes on a map area control.
Mm-hmm.
I like that kind of game.
Yeah.
Some people don't like that kind of game. I like that kind of game.
Yeah.
Risk 22...
Whatever it is.
2210 AD. Why do I like it? First, it's a Risk game that's only 5 turns.
Okay.
So it's super short, right? Another thing is you start on the normal world map, but there's ocean territories. And you can only, at the beginning of the game, you buy a leader. If you buy an ocean leader, you're allowed to walk into the ocean territories.
Mm-hmm.
If you buy a space leader, you're allowed to go to the moon, which is another separate board. If you buy the land leader, you're better in land fights.
Mm-hmm.
And if you buy the nuclear leader, you're better at everything but only at attacking.
I like asymmetrical powers.
I love asymmetrical powers. Each of these leaders has its own little deck of cards that you draw from. You buy those cards with energy, and you play those cards with energy. The trick to the game is the ocean territories, ocean countries are really small. So it's really easy to get a whole ocean country, and that'll give you lots of energy income. Mm. It's harder to take the whole countries on land, like Asia or what have you, but they have a pretty high energy value. The moon has a ridiculous energy value, but you have to go up there and get to the moon. So at the beginning of the game, there's a scramble. People are trying to take over all the land area. Somebody's trying to specialize into going to the ocean. Someone then also specializes into going to the ocean. Now there's a fight over the ocean. Mm-hmm. Then someone's going to the moon. Everyone sees that they're going to the moon. They now have a moon race to try to get up there to deny you territory because most of the map stays empty. And by this is just like a scramble for the board for the first 3 turns of the Risk game. And then for the last 2 turns of the Risk game, it gets into the battle thing. And people are spending all the energy they've gotten for the first 3 turns to play cards from their hands to have fights. I think it's really elegant because you can't have someone hiding in Australia. Right. You can't have someone hiding in South America. You can't have someone just hide on the moon. There is a resource gathering phase at the beginning, mm-hmm. a sort of Cold War phase in the middle where everyone's trying to get up their resources, and then everyone tries to go for the throat in the last 2 turns. And it's tighter and more structured than any Risk game that I can think of. I like that game a lot.
Cool.
I sold it because I could not find people to play it with.
Yeah.
And when I met you and you were bringing over much more interesting games all the time, I was like, I will retire this game. But it holds a place in my heart. I like it. If I find another copy of it and I had a group to play Risk with again, I would play Risk 2210 AD.
Nice.
Yeah.
Over Legacy. Well, maybe will we see Legacy?
Legacy's not on this list. Legacy, that's a story from my past.
Right.
But it's not a game that deserves to be on a top anything list.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, cool. I like that.
Cool.
I like that distinction too.
Done with 16. Let's go to spot 15 on my list.
I just got a glimpse of it, and I'm really mad.
You're mad that it's down this low?
I'm really angry.
You said earlier you knew what was going to be in my top 10. Was this one you were betting for your top 10?
I don't think it was because I forgot about it at the time. And that, even though it's literally sitting right off screen, because we were just doing it for another video. Mm. I'm just so blown away. Why don't you say it to the people?
Attack on Titan is my number 15.
Like, I'm personally offended that this isn't in the top 10.
I can't explain why it's down here until we get higher up on my list.
Wow.
But it's down here. I like this game a lot.
Oh, okay. I know why now.
You know why?
Yeah, now I know why.
Okay, yeah. It's down here. I've played this game so many times.
Yeah.
And I think at this point in time, I know this game so well, some of the thrill is gone. And so I can't justify putting it higher up on it. If this was earlier in my board gaming lifetime, mm-hmm. if this game had just arrived on my table, this would be up in my top.
Yeah.
I'm so used to this game now. I've played it so many times. I practically memorized the deck.
Yeah.
Right. Titans appear on top of the board, and I'm like, there's one more of those.
Yeah. And we know that by now.
Right. And it's my knowledge of the game has degraded its superlativeness in my heart, but it's got to be on my top 20 list because I love it. If they came up with an expansion for this game, it would immediately and refreshed its mechanics and everything. It would go back up to the top again. But I know this game too well.
Yeah.
It surprises struggle to surprise me anymore.
Well, we gotta ramp up the difficulty, Zach. I feel like we've only ever done the one difficulty ramp, which is like draw more cards, which is a great difficulty ramp.
Yeah.
But maybe less heroes die.
I don't know,
because we would have lost that other game.
We would have lost.
We played a great game of it the other night.
We played a great game of it the other night. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. It's only 15 on my list.
Yeah. I don't think I had included it in your top 10.
This is your second best game, right? Your second top game?
Yeah, this is my number 2.
Yeah.
And it could be number 1 still. Like, I just love it so much.
Like, I could argue with myself and put it up there.
Yeah.
But I think if I'm being honest with myself, it has to go down here.
That's fair. 15's still good.
15's still good.
All the games that we've played.
Number 14. Massive Darkness.
Nice. Massive Darkness 2.
Massive Darkness 2.
Yeah.
Massive Darkness is great. The only reason it's down this low on my list is I think it's fun. I think it's great.
Yeah.
It's down this low instead of higher up on my list because I think part of the reason I'm so excited to play it all the time is to see the new stuff. It's the novelty of it.
To try all because we still haven't played every character.
I want to try every character,
but
I want to fight the big bosses we've never seen.
That's true, yeah.
I want to see monsters we've not seen.
Yeah.
That last time we played it, I saw things that game did that I had never seen before.
Oh, yeah.
Right? We never played a mission that was that hard or spawned that many guys on us.
Yeah.
We dealt with more than one of the big roaming monsters, which we had never had to do before.
Oh, no, we had.
Had we?
Yeah.
I don't remember having to deal with like 4 of them in the past.
Not 4, but like 3.
All right. My point is, I think me wanting to see what that game has to offer is what's making it exciting for me. I think when I burn out through all that new stuff, I don't think it deserves to be higher on this list.
I get that. I get that in terms of the longevity. Like that's actually a pretty big factor for me is that I do like all the asymmetrical powers. I don't really care about the bosses though. I really just like leveling up my own little tech trees.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good game. It's on my top 20 list. It's not a bad game.
We have a lot of crossover. I mean, like we do have similar taste, but
we play games together.
That's true. Yeah.
It's not like I'm gonna pull out a game and be like, I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Well, I haven't played 2 on this list.
Oh, okay. Well, let's keep going.
And Risk 22 AD.
Going to number 13.
Yeah.
Blood Rage.
Oh,
I love Blood Rage. I think Blood Rage was my entry drug for miniatures.
This is surprising to me.
Really? You didn't think Blood Rage would be on my list?
I didn't think it would make it on your list, no.
Oh, I remember coming over here the first time you got Blood Rage.
Yeah.
And us opening up the box and us holding up the miniatures and be like, oh.
Yeah.
And now here I am painting all kinds of miniatures with shelves full of them. And it started with Blood Rage.
Yeah.
I like the drafting mechanic. Drafting is one of my favorite mechanics, and it's in not as many games as I'd like. It's in Blood Rage. I think if you're playing Blood Rage at a really high level, you can probably break that game mechanically. I've heard people say oh, well, it's easy to win that game or whatever. But I'm not that skilled. I enjoy that game, and I'm surprised how it plays out every time.
Yeah.
Blood Rage goes there. Number 13.
Wow. Yeah, Blood Rage. Well, Blood Rage just made my top 20. Because I agree with you. There's something really just exciting about it. There's an elegance to it. I don't expect Rising Sun to be on your list.
It's not on my list.
Yeah, but I knew this would be your favorite out of that. Of those.
Again, I also like dudes on a map kind of games, and Blood Rage is one of those.
Yeah.
We'll go to number 12.
Okay.
A game I'm not sure if I'm allowed to have played yet. Raw.
Yeah, you can have played it.
I can play Raw?
You can play it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love Raw. Raw was much higher on my list, and I kept having to argue myself down.
Because we've only played it twice.
We've only played it twice. There are some games that I've played less than Raw, higher on this list.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I really enjoy Raw. I love bidding as a game. A game I was trying to justify being on this list purely for nostalgia, but I couldn't because it's not very good.
Yeah,
is Masterpiece.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah.
I know you love Masterpiece.
I love Masterpiece. It's just a game where you bid. It's sort of like QE. Q. Yeah.
It's kind of that, and meets the a fake artist. No, Ghost of New York. No, the Bidiots game on Jackbox Party. I don't know if you ever played that.
I like bidding as a mechanic, and I don't play poker. So where do I get bidding from? But I liked Raw when we played it a little while ago.
Yeah.
Fell even more in love with it when we played it again.
Yeah.
I like the simplicity of that game. It's such a tactile game.
It's really good.
It feels nice to touch all the tokens.
Yeah.
It feels nice to pull things from a bag. There's a bag. And there are lots of games with bags where you pull stuff out of a bag. But this game has a bag.
Yeah, this lets you pull something out of a bag.
And the stuff you pull out of that bag is so satisfying, and everything fits together so nicely. Raw is a lovely game.
It's really, really good.
I love it.
Yeah, the only reason I got it or got into it was because of World Series of Board Gaming, right?
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that they picked that. And that there was the reprint.
I'm very because that's going to be in this year's World Series.
Oh yeah.
I'm so excited to see some like cracked people take on that game. Yeah, because that's such a mean game. Yeah. The things you can do by forcing people to bid on stuff.
It's there's high calculations you have to make. Yeah, great choice. I'm glad this is on your list.
Yeah, I love that and I think this is not the reason why it's on my list, but there's a giant wooden token in the version we've played, and you slam it on the table and you yell raw, and that is just fun.
Let's be real, it's part of the reason why it's on your list.
It's part of the reason why it's on my list. I love bidding though as well. So that's 12.
And this is number 11. This is the end of this particular video. You got to tune into the next one to see the 10 to 1, because that's how these things work.
Do you have any predictions about what was the game that just barely did not make my cut for top 10?
No, but I now know one more that I remembered is that I think is going to be on your top 10.
Yeah?
That I should really write them down in between the shooting that I'm gonna.
All right, this is your last chance to make a bet for what this is.
No.
3.
Unless it's the one that I immediately just thought of.
2.
Go ahead.
My number 11 is Zombicide, Black Plague. Didn't expect that one?
I thought that was one of my 5.
That was when you thought that was going to be.
I thought that was going to be top 5.
No, Chris. No, Chris.
This is huge. Okay, for those who if you know Zach like I do, Zach is a huge Zombicide fan. We tracked down all the Black Plague, Green Horde stuff. We've played it a ton.
I did. It took a while to find all that stuff.
Yeah, it's all beautifully painted. I thought this was top 10 for you. I get that it's over Massive Darkness. I know you like it better than Massive Darkness. I'm the opposite, but we had a whole video about that. Yeah. But I really expected this to be top 10.
I expected my first draft of this list. It was higher.
Yeah.
And stuff. I kept needing the slot for something better.
Right.
Until I pushed it down, and I was like, I can't. It does not go in the top 10. I love Zombicide.
Yeah.
Zombicide is a fun chuck and dice. Killing tons of zombies. Yeah, I love Zombicide. I love Black Plague specifically. Yeah. It's just a dice chucking, zombie slaying, leveling up, running through a map game. It's really fun. I think everything I put above it is more mechanically interesting.
And, that's fair.
And I think as much as I love popcorn flicks, we're gonna put stuff that's deserving of the top 10 slot above it.
Yeah, I mean, you do like popcorn flicks. I mean, I know you do like really chunky mechanics and like an interesting puzzle as well, which I feel like if we played more of the same game, like if we played more of the same Euros too, I feel like those would shoot up and push out some of the riffraff.
I think so.
Riffraff. Like Zombicide. I get that though, that like it's a fun game. It's a total blast, but also like it doesn't have that much substance, right?
Yeah.
But not that it's a bad thing. Like that's part of its charm, right?
Yeah. Zombicide, the king of the losers on Zach's list, on my list.
So there you go. That's Zach's 20 to 11. Stay tuned because soon, or maybe not, depending if I give him 2 chances as to when it's released. Yeah, imagine I'll just put out your 20 to 11 and then I'll never release the top 10. I'll be like, it's next week. And I'll keep making posts about it. I'll just never release. So we'll have to see when your last one comes out. Zach's stomach is rumbling. We need to eat some dinner.
It's not that I need to eat dinner. I need to go for a walk. I've been sitting down too long, Chris.
That's true. But we're going to sit down a little bit longer as we record the 10 to 1, and then we'll have to see. Do you have an idea of when this gets released, Zach? Do you have a milestone?
It will be revealed in the next video.
To the next video. Thanks for watching. I don't have a catchphrase. Goodbye.
Bye.